All right. Heck of a win. I thought we played really well, especially on the defensive end, and we turned defense into offense. And I think the tempo we played at got Telma open quite a bit, and clearly she got going, and it was fun to watch. We tried to get her that last one there, but at some point you got to play the game the right way, and it's time to get her out. We got a lot more at stake, so um, it just top to bottom was a really good night, and they're a tough team to guard. They run some really good stuff, and I thought we were really locked in tonight. And minus a few of the fouls, there in the second half, and some of the sloppy turnovers. It was a good night.
So first off, I know this is Ball State's Think Pink game. Can you kind of explain the idea behind that?
No, I wish it was my idea, but this is a women's basketball initiative. So across the country, play for Kay Yao at NC State, that was a legendary coach and passed away from cancer. There's a foundation in her name that has done incredible work, and so. The small part we can do to just be a part of it, raise awareness, and keep fighting this thing, we're all in. And I told my team, like on a night where we're wearing pink, this game demands heart. And I thought we played with a ton of it tonight. And it's just a neat deal across the country to see what the women's basketball community can come together and do and bring awareness to. And let's face it, we've all dealt with cancer at some point. Family, friends, people we know what it can do, but we're starting to see some really awesome steps forward. I'm a firm believer that by the time my kids have kids, we're going to have this thing licked. And to be a small part of that, I think is special to all of us in our locker room.
And then for the two players as well, what does it kind of mean to play in a game like that?
It just means a lot to all of us. Like what he said, it felt like that whole game we just played with heart and played for each other. And everyone associated with cancer, like as he said, so I just think we really played with their heart.
Yeah, and I mean, like he said, it's special, everyone knows someone that has had to deal with that situation or been affected somehow, so yeah, definitely special.
And then for Coach, this is the third game in a row where you guys forced 20-plus turnovers. What can you say about the defensive effort in the last few games?
No, it's been through the roof. I mean, we have been locked in to the plan, and our ability to be scout specific with what we're doing has really helped. But these guys are absolutely laser focused on what it is we have to do and how we're doing it, most importantly. And we turned them over on underneath out of bounds, which is hard to do. We were on top of everything that way. Like Yaya's a hard kid to keep from going cuckoo, and we had done a good job in the first half, and we knew she was going to come out and try to get hers in the second. And so, I think we did a pretty good job on her to, she got 19, but, had to take 16 attempts and had 9 turnovers. We're just locked in on that end of the floor. And then I think our team's starting to understand defensively how we can turn that into offense. And when we go from D to offense, the rate that we go, it's hard to guard.
And Telma, pretty big career night for you. I know you had your career high. You had the record time threes of 9, and then you also moved up to second in all-time threes made. So kind of just what's going through your head right now?
It feels good. I felt good out there shooting the ball. We were playing fast, and it's easy to get open looks, and it happened to me tonight, and I was knocking them down, so it feels good.
You should have heard what she said to me when I took her out. Oh my gosh, didn't know you had that in you. I'm joking.
And then kind of to bounce off that, for a coach, how rewarding is that to see kind of a player reach a milestone and break a record?
I had no idea. And all of a sudden, Audrey, the little chihuahua that she is just like, she needs 2 more, I thought she was talking about points. So she goes and gets fouled, makes her free throws. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that was for, but okay. She's like, okay, needs 2 more. I'm like, what is happening? And so finally somebody explained it to me, and you know, we tried to leave her in there and give her a chance, and you know, I think Ohio caught on to it, and their kids just started face guarding her, and so at that point we're like, okay, you know, so we took her out, but it was evident that she was feeling it, you know, and so we were calling her number on some stuff, and you know, you can tell when she's got that feel because the ball's not in her hands too long, and she is hunting them. And she's had a few of those this year, and it is fun to watch.
That's all for me.
I'll say, you know, you're competing with Coach Spencer now, right? And you're going for her record, tied single game record. What's your guys' just dynamic going on, like in a game like that? You know, you said two more. Like, are you aware that she's aware of what's going on with you?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think she is, but I mean, I didn't hear what went on between them, so I don't know.
I don't know who told her. I'm assuming Paula. You know, it comes down, and you know, that's the kind of way that stuff works.
She's telling us too.
Yeah, and so, you know, then it finally gets to me, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, I got to kind of like try to win a game and like coach a team right now. So it's all good, but when she was shooting it like that, it's not like I wasn't going to go to her anyway. I mean, like, you know, so it was pretty easy that way. But yeah, it was a fun night. You know, and you saw the best part of it for me, and I think she would say the same thing, is watching her teammates explode for her. You know, and it speaks to who this group is. You know, they were like doing backflips on the sideline, you know, and I'm like, I'm worried about them on the bench getting hurt instead of the ones on the floor getting hurt, you know. So it was fun that way, and when somebody gets going like that, it usually is.
When did you know that you kind of had the hot hand?
Sometime in the second half. I remember I missed my first two, but then in the second half, I don't know how many I made, but maybe after 7. Because I've gotten 7 a couple of times, so.
I remember she shot one, and it was in the right corner, right in front of our bench, and she shot it, and before it was halfway to the basket, she had passed me running down the floor. So that's when I'm like, oh, she's feeling it, because she just, as soon as it was up, she was like, yeah, that's it. You know, and we've had a few of those moments, and I've had a few of them with her, but like, I remember I'm watching the shot and I see the blonde hair run in front of me, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's like that tonight. So, you know, when you see a kid kind of letting it go and just, you know, pulling the Steph Curry down the floor and not watching it go in, you know they're feeling it.
And also the last one, just because we didn't get to talk after the last game, so at the same time as the men's game and whatnot. But obviously you guys were tested by Akron, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just what do you think that pulling out that close contest kind of did for this group at this point of the season? Because you guys obviously had so many blowout wins of late.
No, here's the thing. Like, we were tested by a trip to Ypsilanti and back, a trip to Akron, having to play Akron, right? So like that whole week, I knew before we ever got to it, I knew that week what it was going to do. I knew the adversity it was going to put us in, right? On top of who we were playing. So our kids handled it like champs, and we talk all the time about, if they'll trust us as coaches to do what we need to do to get ready for games, but then, shorten practices when we can, and, do what we can to keep them fresh, that this all works, and so they were great preparing in that week. And clearly we went up and couldn't make any shots at Akron, and it's been a long time since we played in a game where we made 3 threes. I mean, it's been a couple years maybe. And so a lot of teams would have just been so uncomfortable in that. It would have taken them out of winning the game. And in that adversity, you could see us understand, all right, we're not making them, let's do this differently. and let's just sit down and defend. And we were as good defensively on Saturday as we were tonight. Locked in, we knew what they were doing, we were on it. And so we just had to go hunker down and win a game defensively. And then, you know, like she kind of did tonight, Anna did on Saturday. We just took over, and but everything was mid-range. And then, you know, when they'd step up on her, she dumped it to Marie. It's good to have that many bullets in the gun, you know, where you can go Anna one night, you can go Telma one night, you can go Maddie one night, Allie, you know, we can just keep going down the line. And that's kind of what Saturday was. It was a gut check win. And so it was a good one. It was a really good one.
Good.
All right. Appreciate you all.
Thank you.